Park Sunday morning. The crowds turned up to hear the local member, Federal, and one of the councillors hear our concerns.
Come around. I'll try my best. I'll try my... Hopefully I can still speak after today's meeting. Hello everyone.
Oh, right, yeah.
Hello everyone, welcome to our Federal MP Sally Situ's mobile office.
Yes.
My name's Huang. I'm the local member, I'm the local councillor for this area. And I also want to acknowledge my counterpart, Councillor Garrard and Councillor Helen Hughes, who's also here today.
Thank you.
I would first like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owner of this land. I pay respect to elders, past, present and emerging.
God save the King.
I have to say, over the past few weeks, I have received many emails and phone calls from many of you regarding this waste transfer plan. I thank you as a community who have come together and campaigned hard for this, against this development application. What I want to do, just quickly, give you 3 short pieces of information, so that then I'll pass it on to Sally, for her to say her thing. First, I know that many people are confused about the waste transfer plan. Who has put it there? Who has put in the application? My answer to you is it's a commercial operation. It's put in there by a private company. It's not a local government, state government, or a federal government proposal. So it's got nothing to do with government.
But who has to approve? Which government has to approve?
Okay, because that goes to my second part. Because it is a waste facility, it goes straight to the Sydney Central City Planning Panel. A panel consists of state government appointees plus 2 of local councillors. That's where this application will ultimately be assessed. 3, the council, the planning panel, and the applicant had a meeting of the 15th of June. There is a record of a kick-off brief where each party expressed their views on this particular application. I have printed off some with me today, but I'm not sure whether that will be enough to go around, but I will do my best.
What was the majority?
I think the majority, the view from the council and the view from the planning panel is that there are many concerns with this application. And that's listed in the kick-off brief. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to hand off to our wonderful local member, Sally Sitou, for her to say a few words.
Thanks very much, Kun, and thanks for Kun's advocacy on behalf of the community. And I know some of the other Cumberland councillors are here too. And thank you all for coming down here today. There is something that I've learned very early on in my time is that sometimes bad decisions happen if the community don't raise their voices and they don't raise it loudly. This is something that I think many of you have strong opinions about. This is not the time to hold those opinions to yourself. This is the time to voice those opinions strongly, to talk to your councillors and to make them heard. You need to put in submissions and you need to be part of the process. So you need to put in submissions and be part of the process. I think something that I know about Lidcombe is that it is a great community. It is filled with residents who love this place, but I think sometimes you've accepted the lot that you've gotten, and I don't think you should do that this time. And you've got a wonderful councillor here, Huang, who's passionately fighting on your behalf, but he can only do so much. So really, what we're trying to encourage you all to do is to speak up now. Your state member, Lynda Voltz, has written a representative to the Minister in charge, and we've got copies of that letter that we can send to you as well. I will be writing a representative on your behalf, but ultimately what we're trying to encourage you to do is to make a representative yourself, to write in a submission yourself and be part of that process. I'll get, Philip from my office is here. We'll get your details down, leave us your email address. We'll make sure that we keep you updated with what is happening. But with this situation, I really want to encourage you to get as much information as you can, to be part of the process, to get loud and angry and make sure that you make your opinions heard very loudly. So the question is, why is it being put up in a residential area? And that is a very valid point, and I'll hand over to Kun, but one of the points that you should be raising in your submission is exactly that. It's not the right place for it, and it will increase traffic congestion.
Is it best to do individual submission or get a big petition going and get everybody's signature? Because not everybody will be able to be writing, or they don't have the computer skills and so on and so forth.
Okay, I'll answer two questions together. This question first. Why did they put it in an area such close to the residential area? Can I just say, we have our local state member, Lynda Voltz, with us today. And Lynda has already done enormous amount of work on this matter, and I know that she has written to our planning minister on behalf of our local residents. Oh, also spoken to our local, to the minister. Why this has been put in this location? Well, it is a commercial decision, so we can't control what the applicant do when they have a private industry land in this area. So the only thing that council can do is to make sure it's assessed through the proper process, and making sure that the views of the community are listened to and reflected in the decision. And in terms of the question about submission, the council only accept unique submissions. So what you need to do is you need to email the council with your objections. It doesn't have to be a 4-page long. It literally could just be one sentence that you object to the traffic. You object to on the basis of the environmental issue. You object on the basis of the close proximity to the residential area. So you can do anything, you can put in anything you want, but you have to make sure that it is unique. It has to be, you also have to include your name, your address, and a contact detail. That's the most important thing.
Councillor, how many unique submissions have been received by council since you're aware of?
So far from me directly, at least over 20. But that's because, wait, guys, to be fair, that is because people have CC'd me onto their submission.
I've CC'd Helen Hughes.
So my understanding is that there will be a lot more than 20.
Can we set up a station where we can do, people can come who can't do emails and help and do it?
Yep. Can I just give the mic to our state member?
All right, so if anyone wants to make a submission and they haven't done so, what you can do is come to my office if you can't do an email. It's in the Lidcombe Centre. It's on the mezzanine level. It's a really funny spot in between the two escalators. We can take it, even if you want to just drop a handwritten note. What we do is we send them to the Minister for Planning and ask for him to put them in as part of the formal complaints, the formal process that's going forward. That's the easiest way for us to do it, and they have a process within planning to be able to do that. So either email my office, which is auburn@parliament.nsw.gov.au, drop in and see us. You know, even if you want to just leave the letter under the door because you're there on the weekend, or get one of my staff to write down your complaints and they can do it for you. There's plenty of people there that can help.
Thank you.
Just, Councillor, one more thing. Was the process, we'll have to have at least 10 submissions to trigger a formal consultation.
Yes.
So by definition, you receive at least 20 at
Yes.
least, so I'm assuming they'll kick off.
There will be a formal consultation
What does
process
that
as well.
involve?
It involves a public meeting.
Yeah.
It involves a public meeting where council staff will be present to answer all the technical questions you guys may have.
But I must say that public meeting will probably be a Zoom meeting. Unfortunately, that's the way they do business.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, but most of the time, that's what they do. And what's the important thing about your submission is that you have to convince 5 people. 3 of them are appointed by the state government. 2 of them are from. This proposal will bring 118 truck movements a day into Lidcombe. So when you write your submissions, yes, it is about the environment, and it's also about the way the amenity of your area is going to be upset by these truck movements coming into Lidcombe. You have an issue.
Let's just not. Sorry, say again. All right, just a couple of things in terms of state planning panels. What everyone has, and this is what council set down, is their parameters around local environment plans and movements. They're required to take all those considerations into effect. Now, there may be people appointed by the government, but it's a planning panel that is there to assess it under the current guidelines that are laid down within the local environmental plan that is set by the local council and then gets gazetted within the government, right? So everyone has to meet that. Everyone's seen the LEPs, they've been on display, the council spends a lot of time putting them together, and that's the parameters they work in. It's not some kind of random thing where they can ignore traffic, where they can ignore the EPA, they can ignore the criteria that is laid down and gazetted. So that's the parameter they have to work under.
Yeah.
Why you guys come so late? Because on 4th of July, state night. We do a lot of work for Helen.
Well, you did a lot of work for Helen. I know that.
But our family do a lot of work for the family. This is okay.
Around the suburb for the past week or so. We printed out, Helen helped us print it out like 1,000 copies. Our family went down street by street, went into door knocking, speak to people, raise awareness. And also, how come you only coming now? Only today. Submissions due next Friday.
Can I just say?
And from From our understanding, the submission was due like last month. It was only Helen, Councillor Helen who actually extended the deadline.
I just wanted to say thank you very much for your time and your efforts. But what we're doing now is we're bringing 3 levels of government, council, state and federal, to make sure that we can get a solution for you. It's not too late. The whole point of today's meeting... No, I appreciate your efforts. What I'm trying to say is today is not too late. My message to everyone here is to get involved. You need to put a submission in. Kun has details about what you need to do to put a submission in. Now is the time to do it because we want to make sure that everyone in the community has a say. This is the whole point of today. This is the whole point of us giving the information. I do want to thank you for your efforts because we are applauding that, but we're trying to add to that as well. So if we can make this a constructive conversation, I think that would be really helpful.
I've got 2 questions.
Yes.
Can you talk?
Okay.
Alright, so 2 questions. Can you post Excuse me. Let one person
Would you like to? You'd like us to post it on the Facebook group?
Post in the Facebook
Yes.
group how to make a submission so it gets out there. And the second question is, so I'm going to write a letter and I'll say I'm opposed to the traffic, I'm opposed to the smell,
Yes.
I'm opposed to whatever. The people on this panel, they don't live in Lidcombe, so they're not going to care about those things. So how will they then take our citizens into their thing? Because they don't live here. They're just going to look at it like, oh, tick, it follows this law, tick, it follows that law. Let's just.
Can we listen up here,
So
please?
how can we sway them to understand how it's going to impact us?
I think the key point is that the amount of submissions that we put in, and then like Kun says, they have to be unique. So some of the things that you can mention are the things that are very specific to your circumstance as well. So Kun said the noise, the environmental impact are the things that you need to be thinking about and putting in your submission.
I want to make a point.
Yeah.
Excuse me. There's a website.
There's a report.
Website.
Everybody can listen. We can do it by the
No, this is information to help you.
There's a report. There's a report by. There's a report by the company on the impact on the environment. They recognize a lot of problems and they raise some measures to mitigate the impact. But a great part of the measures depends on management. You know, and what they say is an ideal scenario. But you know, in the real world, everything can never be ideal. Maybe a lapse in the management, maybe the staff do not do everything as required, and then the impact will be permanent. And I can't see if this happens. What's the remedy?
Well, in terms of the assessment process, the council has required expert reports from different authorities as well. So we're not just going to rely on the information that's provided by the applicant. If you have seen the kick-off brief, that was the meeting that was mentioned previously between the council, the panel, and also the applicant. You can see that council actually has requested information from other authorities like the Transport for New South Wales, Sydney Waters and other. I think also Sydney Planning as well, so different other authorities. So that information provided by applicant obviously is there to support their application, but council will also request additional information from the relevant agency as well. I just want to go back to before.
It's just, you know, I think I have a good reason to have my worry.
Oh, absolutely.
Another thing is that the measures depends on rule or law, or just depends on good faith. This is the point. I'm not sure, but we have a worry about that.
Absolutely.
I'd like to make it known that it was because of me that the date got extended.
Yeah, thank you.
To the 14th
Thank you.
of July.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Very good.
Very active for about 3 weeks.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, thank you. If it wasn't, or no, we have no idea this is coming to our backyard. I want to say something too.
Can I just finish off with that? Sorry. In terms of the extension of the notice period, you can also see from the kick-off brief that was on the 15th of June that council actually reflected in that brief on the 15th of June that due to community concern, the deadline has been extended. That was on the 15th of June this year. So that is in the kick-off brief as well. And also in terms of the public meeting that the now the Open 10 mission has triggered, I can assure you that as a councillor, I'll make sure there will be an in-person brief, in-person meeting. Thank you.
They tried to do this quite a few years ago too, in the 2000s. They tried to bring it, no, I don't need that. They tried to bring a dump here in the year 2000s. The same things were happening, so I thank that lady. This is an eyesore. The waste pollutants for all the residents here. Honestly, this is ridiculous. Go somewhere else. Multi-million-dollar properties are going to devalue. Okay? Go somewhere else. You can't come into the middle of families, just go somewhere else.
I think that's a strong message that applicant hopefully would receive from listening to.
You know, there's a knockdown buildings, houses are going for 1.8 million. And the minute you put a rubbish dump here, gone.
Sorry.
Yeah, just go up there. Let's walk in. Grab the
We,
microphone.
okay, I've been here probably for
I have a question.
30 years,
I feel very
but there are some other people living here for a long time. The dumping rubbish area is so, really so close, not just traffic, not just, I think one of the things that we didn't mention is the smell. I have been driving past the Silverwater one, the Lynda Olympic Park, in the summertime. There's a many occasions I drive past, I actually have to wind the window up. It was so smelly. And I heard that from last meeting, someone said they're going to close that rubbish tip. So they have to voice what the tip was built over there, and then people move in. Now they got better voice, more people to shut them down. Now they try to build somewhere close to here. And we got nursing home, we got public school, we got childcare centre. The residents here for a long time. If you look at the map, Google map, it's like 600 metres to a town centre. It is too close. Phillips Park is really close. It's only about, again, 600 metres again. So the smell is unbearable. It's a 24/7. It's very hard to contain smell. Little gap, that's all you need.
I think you've got multiple units that has come next to the door there too.
Also, this is something that's acknowledged in the kick-off brief. The kick-off brief actually stated that the residential area to the waste facility is only 70 metres. So much closer than what people expect.
Can I talk something? Yep. I really appreciate to help us. I'm very appreciate. But this early morning, I just got this notice on yesterday afternoon. I was coming. So this morning, I did some research about the garbage and wastage. So it's all in the Newcastle area. It's not in Sydney area. Not in the none of the place. I did 7 research. It's all in the Newcastle County Valley. And none of it in the resident area. None of them. Why only us, Cumberland Council resident in Lidcombe, have all the rubbish? And this I really understand. Organic waste. What does it mean? The better land for our human being. But we have no human being right here. We just like to dump the rubbish here.
That's right.
I really want to voice up. I was shocking there because I have a new place here, and it was nearly $2 million. And now my environment is all gone. We have a childcare centre in here. We have 2 new childcare centres on 1 Mary Street and 1 closing JD Street. So I don't know. We have a Newington have the garbage wasted. We have Auburn. Why do I have Lidcombe? That was 3 close area in Cumberland Council. Why we accept in Cumberland Council only, not other council? Why?
Thank you.
So I absolutely understand what you're saying, and I think Kun and I have been working really hard to try to get the attention on Lidcombe in particular. We've been doing a lot of work around Phillips Park in particular, wanting to get it upgraded and have committed some funds to getting that done. But I understand that this is a real concern for everyone in the community. What I would suggest is that everything that you've heard today, your own concerns, that you put that down in writing. Kun's got some details, flyers here about how you make a submission. So you need to send an email to council with information about this and then the concerns that you have. So if I could just get you to come down, yeah, understand that you've got some questions, but I'm just going to wrap it up now. Because we've got the information here, we've heard from lots of people about their concerns. Come down, get information about how you make a submission, give us your details, your email address, so we can keep you updated with submission times and submission guidelines, because we want to make sure that you're fully informed about what's happening throughout this process.
Thank you. Thanks, Sally. Can I just add one more thing? Just before I add one more thing. If you guys don't read any of the document that's provided by the applicant, please read the kick-off brief that was provided by the Sydney Planning Panel, because it gives an accurate record of what has discussed at the initial brief, what the concern is from the council, and also the Sydney Regional Planning Panel, and definitely assist you with how to make that submission. Sorry,
And you know,
He said now, Kun said, but yes, sorry, I talked to you, okay? He said we have to read carefully what they have it, but it is very hard for us to read it. All this long document in English. This is many multicultural communities who does not, English is not our mother language. So, in this case, reading all the long and so many pages of document in English is hard. So I asked my friend, my lawyer, asked her to read it, and she said they already the developer is private.
Yes,
private. And this plan is a private plan, not the government plan. But the council and the panel, Central City panel, they want to approve it.
No, they don't want to approve. They get the assessment.
Yeah, assessment, right? And this is, they said, already environment result, environment test is already, the effect is in this area is very minimum. So it is already environmentally they have tested. So it is almost more than half they gone. Yeah?
Okay. Thank you very much.
On this website, we have Chinese and we have Korean. So there'll be interpretation on this website for everybody to get information on what's happening in the future. Please take a copy of that.
Can I just also welcome our Mayor, Lisa Lake, who's also joined us today. She's just arrived. January, yeah?
So it's all well and good for us to send individual submissions, but are there actual points that you can advise us on mentioning specifically that will actually carry more weight and be more convincing? Are there things that we can say specifically in our submission?
All right, thanks for that.
That will help make them think?
Well, I think the brief, look, I'll refer you back to the kick-off brief that was produced by the planning panel, because it actually outlined the concerns that the council has and also the planning panel has. So if you can reinforce those concerns, that will definitely help add weight to the application.
How many pages is that?
3 pages. So it's very simple, 3-page kick-off brief. I have a hard copy with me right now. If you like, I'll also send you the link online as well.
Can I just ask, who are the councillors on the assessment panel? And are they here today?
The reason why the councillor who are on the assessment panel are not here today is because they're not allowed to do it. I'll refer to the Mayor Lake.
Good morning everyone, I'm sorry I'm late. I had another commitment over in Wentworthville, but I wanted to be here. I haven't heard what other people have said to you this morning, but I'd just like to emphasise to you the absolute importance of putting in written submissions objecting to this proposal by Friday. Can people please get their submissions in as soon as possible? Now I understand that English may not be your first language, and I can let you know that if you wish to contact me, I will arrange for council staff to assist you in translation. Because I think it's absolutely important. It's absolutely important that everybody get their say. This is a legal process that we're involved in. I've had a question, why aren't the councillors here today to listen to you who are sitting on the city regional panel, which will be making the decision. The reason they're not here today is because the Sydney City Regional Panel has organisational and procedural guidelines that actually forbid them from engaging with community until such time as the panel is sitting and making its decision. So at this point, our only access point to have our views put across is through written submissions. So I would ask everyone to please put pen to paper. It's a good idea to have individual submissions, not just one big group submission with a lot of signatures, but everybody giving their personal points of view about this proposal. And that's the way we'll make sure that everyone's voice is heard.
But we shouldn't have to do that.
And I'll have
encroaching on Lidcombe, trying to put a dump here. We shouldn't have to go through javelin jumps to try and prove why we don't want to contaminate our area. A class action lawsuit will happen and I'll lead it. You let them know that.
I agree.
I'll let you speak on that matter. I also am bound by our code of conduct and procedural guidelines. I will not be making any public comment about this matter until such time as the assessment report has been prepared by the council and submitted. And at that point, I will be free to say what I want to say. Thank you.
At the next, you may give it to me. At the next council meeting, at the next council meeting, there will be a resolution going up about traffic in Lidcombe, addressing the 118 truck extras that are going to come into this area. We tried to put up this motion at the last council meeting, but the mayor wouldn't allow it, so we're going to put it up at the next council meeting next Wednesday week. It's important that council understands how bad the traffic is in Lidcombe already, so that we can work out the effect of this application on future movements in Lidcombe. So Helen will be putting up the resolution next Wednesday week.
Lisa, how can you approve the high-rise apartment building there, and in front of that, and rubbish waste? It's very contradictory. This area is center of the town is developing a lot, right? So make a nice, good resident center, not rubbish center, please.
Why would he knock it down?
So just so people understand, the political body of the council, the elected council, are not making the decision about this matter because it's called designated development. It is referred to the Sydney City Central Planning Panel. It's an independent panel. It's not at the direction of the council. It's not at the direction of the minister. It's 5 people sitting on a panel who will be making this decision. What we need to do at this point is assist you and encourage you to make submissions that will be taken into account by this independent panel.
Who appoints the pundits?
We'll just take two more, and then we'll wrap it up because I don't want to take up everyone's morning. So you, sir, and then we'll have.
Within the period of last week, with the help of hello, yeah. With the help of this lovely lady, Helen, and Paul, and Paul. Yesterday, last week there was a meeting in the Catholic club. Most of you were there. Anyway, our voices, Federal, State and the Council. The 3 bodies are here. That voice should have been that voice should have been in front of that proposing body, that garbage industry. In the beginning, not before all this. Where were you then? And secondly, most importantly, after all that, I made some research. Sydney Council body, okay? Central body. In YouTube, I watched the footage of them. The way the chair was criminally pulled the council at that thing. You won't even treat the dog like that.
A lot of people don't want this tip. And it's taken a lot of agitation by residents to get to the stage where council, state and federal members have started to take notice, but well done to the residents who took the lead when the elected representatives seemed very quiet. And this has led to meetings like this. Well done, Lidcombe residents. This is about people power. We must stop this abomination.
How are they going to notice if asbestos is dumped? We have to stick together. None of this backbiting between various councils and your Labor and your this and your that. Who's started first? We've got it now. Let's band together. Let's have one website that everything is on there. Whether I don't care which council you are. Put it all together. This affects us. Is that enough said?
What I would like to highlight is that I did not make this political, and that has occurred from other areas. Now, as far as your response goes, I have been asked by a resident to make sure that you respond to council at Cumberland, etc. That is the intended response. Please don't make it too difficult. I know it's been asked to also send it to others. I did not ask for that. I know it has been asked by others, but equally it needs to be simple for people. If you choose to send it to a councillor, you should send it to all of us. But it needs to go, that is in itself saying it's not political, but it does need to go to the email address of council@cumberland.newsouthwales.gov.au.
And let's look at a pass action.
Thank